to another live stream chat. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Sorry I'm late. It's about 10 after. I guess I didn't do too bad. Still having technology issues. That's okay. I made it. We're here. We're rolling. We're doing this. I'm going to answer your questions today. And I do have a very interesting topic to discuss with you guys today. Very, very different from what we usually talk about. Not that what we usually talk about is bad. And we can talk about that today too. No problem. But, I've been doing this for a while, you guys, where I'm going, look, I think it's time to kind of shift our focus a little bit away from, the usual twin flame stuff. But it's not because it's not good to talk about that. It's perfectly fine to talk about that. And it's very fascinating. Really, twin flames. It's really interesting when you really understand what it's about. But I gotta tell you, there's more to life than just this other person, you guys. And I'm here to show you that. Whether you realize it or not, whether you're ready for it or not, there's gonna come a time when you're gonna go beyond that. And you're going to probably be a lot more interested in creating a life that you're not just happy with or satisfied with, although you can use those words to describe your life as well, but rather a life that you're just ecstatic to live. You get out of bed every day and you just can't even believe that you were blessed with this life. It takes work, it takes dedication, it takes mostly energetic work. It's so worth it. Living with integrity on purpose. And it doesn't necessarily imply, well, it definitely doesn't imply perfection, like you're going to be perfect. Although, that's a relative term. Like, what is perfect? Please tell me exactly what perfect is, right? Is there even any such thing as that? So the yin and yang, the good and bad of life, you make peace with that. And what's interesting is you tend to attract less problems. We do live on Earth. We do live in a world where bad things happen, things that do not serve you. Let's just put it that way, because it always comes down to that. It always comes down to, does this serve me or not? And there's also striking a balance between your ego's, what your ego thinks, and ego is not bad. Ego, let's be clear, the context that I'm using the word ego right now is not the common context that we think of, because the common context of the word ego that we usually think of is, oh, well, you're really in your ego, aren't you? Right? Like you're being really arrogant or something. And that is a legitimate way to use that word. But what I'm talking about is the personality, the ego, the separate self, the little me, the conceptualized sense of self, the mental identity, which is not good or bad, and it does serve a purpose. So what the ego in that context says it wants for your life and what your higher self has in store for you, they don't always match. And that's okay too. And there's even a lot of usefulness. If that's a word. There's a lot of useful ways that you can remember yourself through that experience. Notice I did not say lessons to be learned. I said there's a lot of useful ways to remember who you really are. In that pull between those two types of self. And without going too far down any one rabbit hole, I just want to reiterate that, guys, meeting your twin flame or any type of spiritual awakening, maybe you're somebody who's on my YouTube channel today and you have not met your twin flame, and a lot of people, they see that and they go, oh, this guy's the #1 twin flame coach, huh? Cool. How can I meet my twin flame? That sounds really nice. And then they go watch my videos and they go, oh, that sounds horrible, right? Maybe I don't want that. Yeah, you know what? Just stick with soulmates. It's a lot easier, right? If you're one of those people. So perhaps that person's spiritual awakening came through in another way, like Eckhart Tolle. He didn't meet his twin flame. My best friend, he didn't meet his twin flame, and he had a forced spiritual awakening. All of these questions that I see people in the chat asking right now about their twin flame, you know, I can answer questions. I do have super chats turned on if you want to ask a question, but answering your question isn't going to help you. You guys are, oh yeah, he blocked me. It's really childish. Yeah, that's why he's doing that. We don't deserve horrible, ignorant treatment. Right. And I don't disagree. It's not okay for people to act like that. But if he's really your twin flame, the reason he's doing that is because you're doing that. Sorry. You can get mad at me if you want, but that is the reason he's doing that. The mind, the self-righteous ego is very focused on this person and expects them to be doing something different than what they're doing. And what I'm telling everybody is, whether you're here as a twin flame person or somebody else who had your spiritual awakening kick off in a different way, or you're just interested in the law of attraction, guys. And again, I want to help all the twin flame people, and I'm never going to stop doing that. It is very interesting, but I got to tell you guys, man, like only focusing on that, you're going to get sick of it too. Someday, you're going to go beyond that. To really, you really think you're going to sit here for the rest of your life and try to understand why this person is acting like that, and why they're running, and why they're blocking me, and why they're rejecting me, and they keep coming in my dreams and showing up in my dreams, and what am I going to do about my twin flame, and what about this, and what about that, and blah, blah, blah. And it just consumes you. It consumes your mind. And that's why they're running, by the way. And I'm taking a step back and I'm going, guys, seriously, there's going to come a day when you're not going to care anymore. And I've seen people struggle with repeating cycles with their twin flame. Right. Do you also think it's union season? Like that's a thing. There's no union season. That's a myth. Go watch my video called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness. That's where the word union comes from. And detaching. Go watch that video. Because I'm just going to say it, man. The internet, the information about twin flames on the internet is 99.999% baloney. And I don't care if I hurt anybody's feelings. This is not a romantic journey. It does not matter if you're with your twin flame. Now, you can maybe cause this person to come be with you, right? Your soul might have other plans, but it does happen. I've got lots of students who marry their twin flame. I've coached personally over 6,000 paying coaching students. So it happens. But any answer I give you, any question you ask me, it's never going to help, guys. There's people that like sign up for my video coaching program and they don't hardly watch the video course at all. It's only 8.5 hours and they watch like 15 minutes of it. And then they keep skipping all the videos to get to the part where they can get into the coaching calls because they think if they ask me a question, it's going to get their twin flame to come back. Talking to me is not going to get your twin flame back. Guys, go watch my video called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness, and Detaching. See, I already feel like I'm up here with my sword trying to slay all the stupid twin flame drama. And I got to tell you guys, sometimes I do kind of get sick of it. It's kind of insufferable. And I'm not judging. I was there. I did it too. Okay? I'm not judging. But guys, seriously, stop. Straight up. Your twin flame's not going to come back. And here we are. This is supposed to be a live stream chat about the law of attraction. And I'm looking at the chat and it's like, twin flame, please, Kurt. Oh, my twin flame. Oh, Kurt, they called me. Oh, my God. Oh, my twin flame, Kurt. Oh, my, oh, what do I do? Oh. Guys, quit it. There's more to life than this fucking person who, by the way, if you stop acting like that, yeah, they're going to come back. They're going to start talking to you again. And then where I was going with this conversation was the law of attraction. There are more important things, way more interesting things to talk about, guys. And I'm not sorry for being a little bit of a hard ass about it today, guys. And the only type of coaching that ever seems to work with people when it does come to twin flames is for me to step in and rip the fucking Band-Aid off. Guys, you're not even going to be in this place 5 years from now. You're going to be wanting to know how to manifest some money, or maybe a soulmate, or a better job, or the life of your dreams. Seriously. And again, if you focus on that instead of the person, they come back. It's really simple. Yes, I want to help you with your twin flame. Yes, I want to be compassionate. I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit of a hard ass, but guys, seriously, wake up, wake up. I've talked about this a million times. I was there. I don't judge. But there are more important things to life. There are more important things to life. And this twin flame stuff, you're not even going to be focused on it in a few years. And one more time, there's a few people that I've encountered who have met their twin flame that it's like their ego is more of a stubborn ego. They have more of a stubborn personality, and they just go through cycles with their person endlessly. And I keep telling them, stop making the person the goal. And they like every single time, and they always kid themselves about it too. Well, no, Kurt, I know that. And I am focusing on me and ascension, and I'm not focusing on the person honest. But why are they doing this? Why are they acting like that? Wait a minute. So you're not focusing on the person and you want to know why they're acting like this. Guys, give it a rest. The law of attraction is much more important than this person. Much more important. And by the way, the only thing you can do about the person is nothing. You got to let them just be whatever they're being. And by the way, a lot of the things that I'm talking about with twin flames, they do apply to the law of attraction. So we're going to get into it here in this live stream. Again, if you really want to ask me a twin flame question, the super chat is there. Okay, I'll answer your question. That's fine. I don't have any problem with that, guys. I don't have any problem with that. I'm never going to stop with the twin flame stuff, guys. It is really interesting. And here at New World All-Star, we do it better than anybody. That's for sure. And I'm always going to give you the best answers. And I will answer your question fully. But guys, seriously, there's more to life. You can live a dream life, even if you haven't met your twin. You can live a dream life. And I knew this was going to happen. I would get on this live stream and right away just getting hammered with twin flame questions. Guys, stop it. We're not talking about that today. Get over it. There's more important things to life. Okay? The law of attraction is much more fulfilling to focus on. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. The twin teaches you nothing more than who you are. And when you remember that, and it's not concept, it's not mental, it's not the mind. When you remember that, that's when you start to notice the connection with how you feel and the world around you. The world around you. And it doesn't matter if you met your twin. You could be somebody who just had an awakening. Most people don't. Their spiritual awakening. Most people don't meet their twin flame. Go watch my YouTube video called Twin Flames, the Doorway to Union. Most people, their spiritual awakening is, forced spiritual awakening is triggered by some catalyzing event, death of a loved one, terminal illness, some like Eckhart Tolle, again, he just kind of had like anxiety and life circumstances. Twin flame is just one way. And then other people, they don't have a forced spiritual awakening. They just kind of like embrace spiritualism and they want to learn about it and they want to live a spiritual way of life and how to be their best self. They find that it brings them a lot of peace. So, pardon me if I get a little, I don't know, what's the word? Pushing back on the twin flame hysteria today. But guys, I don't want to talk about it today. I really don't. Again, if you want to super chat me with any questions, I'll answer them. But we got to take our focus off that stuff anyway, guys. You got to take your focus on that stuff. So let's get into this. So, and again, any questions that you want to ask about the law of attraction, twin flames, spiritualism in general, I do have super chats turned on. Let's get our groove on, guys. Let's talk about making your life the best it can be. And you really can do that. You really can do that. There's so much abundance in this world. And your belief about abundance is what cuts you off from it. It's so unbelievably easy to manifest amazing things with just switching your beliefs. It's an internal experience. It's an internal experience. And you may find that you get frustrated with yourself. I won't make any bones about it. Sometimes the twin flame drama, I get frustrated with it. Of course I do, guys. But at the same time, I do feel empathy. I am compassionate. And I look at that and I think, if you just separated yourself from your mind and got out of the drama, the mental story and the narratives, you would see these possibilities. And the same is true for any person, twin flame or not. That is the step one to manifesting, is remembering who you are, to look at the addictive control patterns of ego, whatever it is. Yeah, you can manifest better health. I recommend working with, your doctor to do that. You may find that there are other ways to deal with health problems like that other than, say, surgery. It is possible. You could read Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. He's got some stories in there about people who fought cancer by changing the way they think. I'm not a doctor, going to talk to your doctor and maybe working with them to a certain extent, I don't think it's a bad idea. But anyway, where I was going was, however you came into spiritualism, twin flame or not, it doesn't matter. Going beyond the control structures of mind. And the twin flame shit, it's really bad, guys. It's really, I get it, because I did it. I did all the things you're doing. I don't judge. Even if I get frustrated sometimes, I don't judge, guys. I was there, but the mind, it just does that. No matter who you are, twin flame or not, it just does that. You get into these habits, these ways of being and feeling about things. And that's step one when it comes to manifesting your best life, your dream life, is remembering who you are. There's a you who's deeper than all of these thoughts, all of these questions, and even the emotions. And there's nothing wrong with asking questions and with thinking and feeling emotions. Those are there to serve you in different ways. But step one always will be, remember who you are. You are consciousness. That's your soul. And when you remember that you are the consciousness, then you are able to look at the mind and do something with it. You're like the mechanic who reaches into the engine compartment. The confusion is forgetting who you really are. The little me, the separate self, is ego. Again, ego in the context of just personality, not like arrogant, like, oh, you're in your ego, right? Not the arrogant kind of a use of the word ego, but the ego, the separate self, is just a story. It's a history. It's a way of being. But to have the ability to change that, the ego, the personality, to reprogram the mind, right, always starts with remembrance. And again, if you are a twin flame person, guys, this is an unprecedented opportunity for you. This is you just remembering that you're a soul. And if you make that the goal instead of the person, they come back anyway. They'll at least start at minimum, you could end up being friends. At minimum, I addressed that in last week's live stream. You know, you may actually change your mind and decide, I don't want to be with them. Believe it or not. And a lot of people do end up with their twin flame, but that's not the goal, guys. The goal is to live your best life. And what I've been trying to tell you for the last 23 minutes is, guys, you're going to end up in this place. It could take longer for some of you than others. You'll struggle with it. Again, some people are more stubborn and they're going to cling to the story, and they're going to cling to the physical person, their twin flame, and they're going to go through these ups and downs while kidding themselves about, no, I'm really doing my ascension honest. That does happen. But most people, they don't really do that. Most people, you're going to end up in a place, you guys, I'm here to let you know, in a few years, you're not going to be focused on that person, you guys. You are here to remember who you are, and that's it. And when you do that, it is inevitable that you'll remember that you're a creator. You are a creator. You are a creator. You are a creator. And you are so powerful. The subconscious mind is so powerful. You can use it to create anything. Anything. By the way, I want to give a shout out to my mod, Annie. Everybody hit the like button for Annie. Let's give her some love. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button for my mod, Annie. She's here working hard. She is here completely on a volunteer basis, so I just want to acknowledge her and, give thanks for that. and that we greatly appreciate what she's doing for us. Again, guys, if you want to ask me a question, I do have super chats turned on. If you want to ask me a question, hit that super chat button. Any question you like. I am going to be more focused on the law of attraction today. And I really, really want to emphasize this, guys. You can create anything you want with your mind, anything you want. But that's the whole thing that I'm trying to talk about right now is there is a you. This is extremely important. This is so fundamental. Remembering who you really are. You are the soul. You are consciousness. This is going beyond the mind and the separation consciousness of ego. Where, again, even with your twin flame, it's me and it's them. And we are talking online, for example. Right. Fuck that. You're going beyond the concept of duality of mind. And remembering who you are, no matter who you are, whether you came onto my channel as a twin flame person or not, you are a soul. Your twin flame is just your soul. So whoever you are watching, that's what this is all about. Gaffelglim, thank you for your kind donation. Appreciate that. Guys, remember who you are. You are the creator. You're a little tiny piece of the source. You're a little tiny piece of the all. And that's what this is all about. Remembering who you are. You are consciousness. You are the creator. You are the great I am in a body. And when you remember that there's you and the mind is over there asking all these questions, feeling desperate about your situation, feeling incomplete about the amount of money you're making or the job you have or your health or whatever it is. There is a you who is separate from that personality who is always rattling away with questions and emotions. And it's really hard, you guys. Again, I know I can be kind of a hard ass sometimes, but guys, it's all about love. Seriously, sometimes you got to rip that fucking Band-Aid off. I want you guys to wake up. 777, I love that. I've been seeing a lot of those lately. Guys, seriously, there's so much amazing, powerful, there are so many amazing, powerful things that you can manifest. You are so powerful. You really, really are. And it all starts with remembering who you really are. I am the consciousness. And I still get upsets. Some people have tried to judge me, because I am, I'm like grandpa who is a little bit of a hard ass, but he loves you sometimes. And other times, not so much. But, you can't get upset. You can't be stern. If you're stern with people, you are not spiritual. You're supposed to be a nice, yummy, soft, gushy pillow all the time. And you're only allowed to be nice ever, and only good things and sunshine and teddy bears and rainbows and unicorns are allowed ever. And if you're ever even a little bit stern, or if you have boundaries, that's bad, and you're not spiritual, and that's mean. And yeah, we're only allowed to have good, positive experiences ever, which is the most non-spiritual thing you could ever say. That's called spiritual bypassing, and you're going to see the New Agers doing that. And if you're doing that, you need to stop today, because that is not spiritual. It is toxic. It's toxic positivity. Guys, it's okay if you get upset. It's okay if you get frustrated. It's okay if you get happy. It's okay if you get excited. It's okay if you get sad. It's okay. You got to remember who you are. And the emotions, once you learn to work with them instead of against them, they begin to serve you. And I got to tell you guys, I get out of bed every day and I go like this. Satisfied. I'm so satisfied. And I get up and I got a nice, it's kind of like a walkway that overlooks the living room and the dining room. Some people think I live in this giant house. It's actually just, it's a 3-bedroom house. And I use all the space too. It's got vaulted ceilings. It is a nice house. It is very nice. Americans, like what we consider maybe a normal sized house would be like a gigantic house to somebody maybe in Europe, though. I don't know. But it's a pretty typical house. It is very nice. It's in a nice neighborhood. And I have this walkway that like looks over the living room and the dining room. And I get out of bed and I look at everything and I think, you know what? It's good to be king. It's good to be king. Seriously. Guys, think about it. You got to be okay with winning. You got to be okay with having more than just barely enough. You got to be okay with abundance. And I got news for you. There's so much damn abundance in this world. And there's a conspiracy to put down the spiritual awakening that's taking place. That's why you have the gaslighters and the spiritual snowflakes, the New Agers that tell you that if you get upset, you're not spiritual and you have to be compassionate only. Like you can't do both of those things. Like you can't get frustrated and be compassionate. You can't be stern with somebody and be using that as a way to express compassion because you care about the person. They have such a warped sense of reality, and it's not spiritual. And I think it's part of a greater plot to overthrow the legitimate spiritual awakening that's taking place on Earth. Guys, be a fucking human and just love it. Just embrace who you are. If you're a man, be a man. If you're a woman, be a woman. And we can stop. Crystal, I like the word that you just used. I think we need to stop hijacking our humanity. There is a yin and yang to men and women, and I'm just going to put it like that. And the push to change that, it is not good. They're trying to get us to question our very humanness and even tell us that we're not allowed to experience certain emotions or have certain thoughts. And that is such horse shit. So watch out for that, guys. Watch out for the wolf in sheep's clothing. Watch out for the New Agers that tell you that there's no devil, there's no evil. Now, granted, the devil is technically not a living being. It's an entity. It is the collective human pain body. So just like your pain body, it's not life. It is an entity. It is an entity. And that doesn't mean that you're going to go around being an angry ogre all the time. Now, just to make a finer point, what I am addressing right now is something that I think you would call emotional regulation, which when you master emotional regulation, you can master your outer world, when you master your inner world. And that's exactly what your spiritual awakening is all about. So I get out of bed every day. I walk out of my bedroom and I look around at my house and I think, this is fucking paradise. All I have to do is believe that I can manifest the life of my dreams. And guys, get specific. Get really specific about it. Write it down, the things that you want, and believe in it. Believe in it. And remember, there's a you, again, the spiritual awakening, consciousness. That's what this is all about. At the very ground level, number one, step one, you are the consciousness. You are not the mind. You are not the emotional body. So you master your own pain body. The pain body is hooked into the demiurge, as it's been called. The Bible calls it the devil, right? Or Satan. It's an entity. It's not life. It is evil. And I believe the powers that be, well, I don't believe it. I know this is what they're doing, and they're even on video doing it. They like work with it to trick you. And the New Agers, they're always going to be telling you, oh yeah, there's no Satan, there's no devil. Yeah, there is. It's not life. It's just an entity. And it is out there. There's lots of very interesting trickery being employed in today's world to trick you into thinking differently about all that and into accepting that only one side of the yin and yang is acceptable, or even worse, that the yin and yang isn't real and we can just decide what something is, in spite of the fact, like if you're looking at a mountain, you can go, oh, well, that's a tree, for example. And that's pretty toxic. That's pretty toxic. So again, watch out for that stuff. Watch out for toxic spiritualism masquerading as legitimate spiritualism. There is an agenda to overthrow the legitimate spiritual awakening taking place. Also, use your spiritual awakening to remember who you are as the manager of your thoughts and feelings. Write that down. Write that down. Use your spiritual awakening to remember who you are, the consciousness, and use that to be a good manager of your thoughts and feelings. Have dominion over your body and your mind. The mind is mental, emotional, and metaphysical. And write down what you want. Write down what you want. This takes time too, guys. Everybody wants there to be to flip the switch and have it just be a one and done kind of thing. And just be the best you can be too, guys. Just be the best you can be. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. People make mistakes. Shit happens, but just try to be the best you can be. Operate with integrity. Do it on purpose. Do it on purpose. You're going to make mistakes. There's going to be accidents, whatever. Try not to make accidents that are too terribly bad. There's certain things that you could call an accident that are maybe not acceptable. I mean, now I'm kind of going down a philosophical rabbit hole. Like, for example, like I live in America and we have these things. They go bang. We have lots of them. And I have those too. And I like them. But the one thing, if you're going to do that, if you're going to be somebody that has one of those, the first thing you need to learn is, you're not allowed to make a mistake that time. It'd be one thing if you, I don't know, forgot to pay a bill or something one time. You know what I'm saying? Or just something like that. Like, there are things you can do that affect other people, but that one, you can't make a mistake there. And you got to learn these things, guys. You might recall on my Facebook page a few days ago, a week ago, I put something on there to the effect of, like, here, let me see if I can find it. Because there's knowledge and there's wisdom, and those two things are a little different. People confuse knowledge for wisdom. Knowledge comes from age, but wisdom comes from spirit. Together they form a winning combination. By the way, somebody's asking me if there's a twin flame book. Not a good one. I mean, even like the best, in quotation marks, book that I ever found about it, it was so jammed with romanticized stuff. I don't know. I'm going to write one. It's probably going to be the first and only twin flame book that's an actual twin flame book. And I'm not sorry for saying that, guys. I'm not sorry for saying that. And you might even ask, well, what gives you the right to say that? Go watch my video called Twin Flames, separation consciousness, unity consciousness, and detaching. Go watch that video. You'll get it. As soon as you watch that video, you're going to have a big aha moment. Guys, we know exactly what this is. And you don't get to decide what color the sky is. You don't get to decide how fast the earth goes around the sun. You don't get to decide if you're yin or yang when it comes to how you were born as a human, which one of the two human vessel choices that you have, if you know what I mean by that. You don't get to decide these things, guys. And if you think you can decide those things, you're just deluding yourself, and it's a fucking waste of time. Like, why would you do that? Like, I'm Napoleon. You think you're this when you're actually that. You think the sky is brown when it's actually blue. You know what I mean? Why? Why? What purpose does that serve other than to just confuse people and get people to fight? That's all that's really going on with that is the powers that be want us to fight. But it's also delusional, and I'm not sorry for saying it. It doesn't serve any purpose. How are you ever going to manifest your dream life if you can't have a starting point that's actually rooted in what's real? So that's really, really important, you guys. You need that knowledge. You need that information. That's what the mind is for. But wisdom, intuition, that comes from the soul. And when you make peace with the way things really are and you accept them, you can manifest the life of your dreams, you guys. I am just telling you, you are so powerful. And you have to make it a way of life. This is really, really important, guys. I want you to listen to that one closely. Money, a better job, a soulmate, not your twin flame. That's totally different. Go back to my twin flame teachings playlist, the True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. And again, you know, we can know the answers to these things, including twin flames. There is something to be said about what is. They call it empiricism. What is? It's empirical. Like, this is a blue pencil. And do not even try to play a game of semantics with me. Okay? Well, it's only blue because we all agree to call it blue. It's just a word, guys. A word is just a pointer. I'm talking about the thing, right? It's a blue pencil, bro. That's what it is. And if you call it a unicorn, it's not going to make it a unicorn. So when it comes to even twin flames, I'm looking at what is, and I'm looking at the terminology we use. That's why I keep telling you guys to go watch that separation consciousness video. And yeah, a book needs to be written. The fact that we're using those words goes to show that somebody else already figured it out before I did. I don't think that I'm right. I'm not right. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being correct or incorrect. And guys, you're going to have to learn that lesson when it comes to anything. Like when you learn about the way the world really works, and you come to realize that there is just an unbelievable amount of abundance, money. There are 7 billion people in the world that you can manifest for a relationship, a better job. There's anything that you want, guys, better health. It all exists when you realize that literally 98% of the universe is mental. It's a field. And even quantum theory states that more than likely what's going on is all of these possibilities exist. It's like there's an infinite number of possibilities out there for your life, right? Timelines, if you will. You can call them timelines if you want. And with the exception of respecting the right of ability, what I call the right of ability, which another way to describe that would be free will, you can manifest anything you want, even people, not specific people. I mean, you can do that, but watch out with that one. And maybe we should talk about that today. But anything you want, guys, this is all just energy. Again, 98% of the universe is mental. So there's an infinite number of possibilities that exist. And supposedly the universe is infinite. And to manifest $1 million, well, I mean, what if you could manifest $1 million a year? Like, I want to make $1 million a year. I got to tell you guys something. That's not that much money. It's really not. It's really not. You know how much money there is in the world? Wow. Now, the powers that be hoard it, and that's kind of the problem. But all you got to do is poke a hole in the sky and money's going to come pouring out. Guys, money, here's another myth that the establishment circulates, which is that money is bad. There's this cultural dogma around money that it's bad and it's dirty, evil money. Guys, it's just a fucking piece of paper. And you can have so Anne is saying, I don't like money. I want a world without it. Well, fair enough. I don't think that's ever going to happen. And you don't have to agree with me. But it's just a medium of exchange. If I am a wheat farmer and I need a pair of shoes, how am I going to get a pair of shoes if you don't need any wheat? Well, the shoemaker, he needs corn. So you go to the corn farmer and you say, well, I need some shoes. Can I sell you some wheat and get some corn? And the corn farmer says, well, I don't need any wheat, but I need radishes. Okay, so I go to the radish guy and he goes, yeah, I could use some wheat. So you get the radishes from the radish farmer, and then you go to the corn farmer and you give him radishes for corn, and then you go to the shoemaker and you get some fuck all that. Now, Anne, you are actually correct about that. Money is used to control us, but it doesn't have to be. Nothing is intrinsically good or bad. Fire is bad because you could burn somebody's house down. Yeah, well, you could also have a campfire and cook your food with it. It's just a medium of exchange. And if we had a just system instead of a corrupt system, then money would serve its proper role. And for the foreseeable future, we're going to have money. And I mean, thousands of years. We're probably never going to get rid of money for all intents and purposes. And it's not really money that you would be in desire of. Perhaps, I guess you can do that if you want money, but I think what perhaps would serve you better would be the lifestyle. And again, there's this myth being circulated by the elite, and it's also very, very prevalent with the spiritual snowflakes, the New Agers, who are extremely toxic. The New Age movement is a cult, C-U-L-T. It is a cult religion. It's not spiritual. It is of the devil. They even are going to tell you that there is no devil. They're going to tell you that money is bad, abundance is bad, living your best life is bad. You need to live like a nun in a monastery and have a humble life. And if you have anything more than that, then you're bad and you're evil and you're just a worldly person who's materialistic. And they're going to give you all these narratives. Meanwhile, the elite have trillions of dollars. And they tell us that, Elon Musk, who is a billionaire, is the richest guy. No, he's not. They're using him as a front to hide the wealth that they have, the abundance that they are hoarding. Guys, abundance is your birthright. Abundance is what you are. God created the universe, and you are part of that system. Abundance is all around you. So limiting yourself and demonizing yourself for wanting to have less and saying that you're bad, like this old belief system about just like shame and guilt around abundance. It's part of a plan to trick you, and it's been there for a long time, thousands of years. There's this cultural myth that's been established that these things are bad and you're bad for charging money. And the thing is, you know what? If ever, Eckhart Tolle is worth like $50 million. And I think he should be worth $50 million. You know what would happen if everybody in the world had $50 million? Overnight, all disease, all famine, all hunger, all conflict, war, famine, it would all end overnight. Please tell me again how we don't need money and money is bad. And money can't make you happy. That's a myth. I got news for you. Money will make you happy. And I even found out that there's a book where they prove that. There's a book called, I think it's called The 5 Keys to Happiness or something like that, or The 5 Secrets of Happiness. And one of them is, they did a study where they found that $80,000 United States dollars, $80,000 is like peak satisfaction in life, peak happiness. Now, if you make more than $80,000, it's not going to make you happier or less happy, but they have done all these empirical studies where they looked at how, like, all these different income levels and then how happy the people said they were, or how happy or satisfied the people were with their life. And they found that consistently across the board, 80,000 US dollars was like leveling off, like peak happiness. And so again, there's another myth. Oh, money doesn't make you happy. Oh, really now? Well, it sure in the hell isn't going to make you sad. Guys, money solves a lot of problems. And again, we're being told, we're being shamed and guilt tripped. Money is bad and it shouldn't even exist. And again, Anne, if you're still watching, I'm not yelling at you or anything like that. You can disagree with me if you want. That's fine. I've got no problem with that. This is just what I think. And I got to tell you guys, I'm sorry, but there is an agenda to disseminate these belief systems that are completely illogical. You're never going to get rid of money. And I mean never. Well, Kurt, never say never. Yeah, there's another myth that I think is being circulated, is that, well, it's not true that some things never change. And, just kind of that whole philosophical talking point. You're never going to get rid of money, guys. There's always going to, they used to use sticks of wood. England, for hundreds of years, almost 1,200 years, I believe, they called them tally sticks. Money is whatever we agree to use as money. There's nothing wrong with it. Also, the notion that we should have like a greater system, like a government, collecting all the labor and redistributing it all equally, is evil. That is of Satan. Okay, communism is evil. And the only people that have ever benefited from a communal system are the rich, the elite. And I mean the super elite, not Elon Musk, but his boss, if you know what I mean. The real super wealthy, the real super powerful. Money solves a lot of problems, guys. Money does make you happy. That is the biggest goddamn myth I've ever heard in my life. And it needs to die. It needs to go today. There's absolutely nothing wrong with money. But again, can you make a god, as it were, out of money? Yeah. People worship all kinds of different things. People idolize all kinds of different things. People obsess all kinds of different things. Obsess over all kinds of different things. It doesn't have to be money. It could be food or just power. So everything in our universe is just, it's fine. It's what we agree to use it for. Okay. And so let's get that one out of the way. Okay. Nobody has the right, by the way. This is why I don't like communism, and neither should you. Communism it's evil. It's the product of evil. Even Eckhart Tolle has spoken out against it. And it's not very hard to prove that it's evil. You cannot forcibly take a person's labor from them. You cannot do that. That's what that is, those types of systems. One of the first things that a communist system has to do is eliminate all ownership of personal property. And I got news for you. Rights and property are one thing. It's one coin. Heads, tails, right? It's a coin. Heads, I got rights. Tails, I got property. And I mean, really, heads is rights and tails is responsibility, but the coin represents property, the coin itself. This is the stuff that they don't teach you in school, and they should be. So when you're born, what's the first piece of property? Your body. It's yours. Now, a kid doesn't have the ability to accept the responsibility to know what to do with it all the time. So that's why you need good parents to teach them the truth of who you are as a human and what is a responsible way to live. Like, don't feed your kid McDonald's, et cetera, et cetera. But your labor is your property too. So if somebody can forcibly take money from you, or take, like, say you are the wheat farmer and the government says, well, we're just going to take all the wheat, and if you need shoes, then just come to us for the shoes. Right. So I don't get to decide what I'm going to do with my property, with my wheat. I worked for it. And by the way, people in communist Soviet Union, communist Russia, if you disagreed, they ship you off to the gulag. They do that in China. They do that in North Korea. So tell me again how communism works. And you're going to find all these snowflakes that keep telling you, well, we just haven't had real communism. You get out of here. That's Satan. You're succumbing to the devil. There is no devil, right? That's what they're going to tell you. There is no devil. Right. So, guys, that's the deal with money. We need to fucking have a get real conversation about money. It's your birthright. You need to deprogram all that evil conditioning. It's all horse shit. You have the right to do whatever you want with your labor, your body, and your beliefs. And that's really what this video is all about. I'm deprogramming you guys. You are so powerful. All you have to do is change your unconscious habits of thought and say no to the devil. That's all you have to do. And again, the devil is an entity. It's not life. It's no different than your pain body. The devil, it's also been called the demiurge. It's nothing more than the collective human pain body. That's all it is. It's an entity. It's just a bunch of programs running again and again and again. Like, when I look at what the powers that be, the establishment does, like the programs that they're rolling out all the time to control us and get us to fight, and they get us to think all kinds of things about money, for example. They distribute all of these cultural myths. It's embedded in our society. There's so much guilt and shame around money. Well, where do you think that came from? We're having boundaries. They gaslight us. And so, like, somebody like me, who's just kind of an unfiltered guy, and I just kind of say the way it is, and I speak my mind, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not afraid to express frustration. I'm not afraid to express excitement. I'm not afraid to get out of bed and feel satisfied and exhilarated every day. I'm not afraid. This program, they work with it, the elite. They work with this entity. It's like a robot. It's like a computer program. And it's only able to keep doing kind of the same stupid programs over and over again, like a stupid robot, like a dumb robot. It's so predictable. Like every time the legacy media, every time I see the narrative change, like whatever the new propaganda is, and if you don't think there's propaganda in the United States, you think again, because it is, sometimes I think it's worse than like communist countries' propaganda, like North Korea or something. It's just high-tech propaganda. But it's like a dumb robot. It's so predictable. It's so predictable. So, and if you want, here, let me show you something. I mean, I don't want to spend a ton of time talking about this stuff that I'm talking about with you right now, but you could join me over here on this platform, and same name, New World All-Star. All-Star is one word, ALLSTAR. Find me over here, and I'm going to be talking more in depth about those kinds of topics, but it's still important to talk about here because, guys, like, seriously? And actually, the last video that I posted on that platform, I talked about this. If you don't know there's a vampire at your door, how are you going to know to say, what if you think it's just some guy and you let him in? So you do need to be aware of the world that we live in. And that way, when the demiurge, also known as Satan, which again, it's not a living being, it's like a robot entity. Okay, when it tries to trick you, you're able to say no. You're able to just not choose that. And there's lots of trickery going on today, guys. And I'm going to be somebody who is going to be talking about that again on this platform. You know, it's like Abraham Hicks says, how do you know what you do want if you don't know what you don't want? If a vampire is trying to trick you, you're going to need to know that that's there so you can say no thank you to it. Cutting out toxicity, it's so empowering. You won't even believe it. You won't even believe how powerful you are. And once you get past that, guys, you can create anything with your beliefs, with your mind, with who you're being. The being, the true self, consciousness, is like pure water. It's like reverse osmosis water. Almost 100% pure water, right? But you can add things to the water. You can add food coloring, you can add flavoring, and then it's a particular kind of water at that point. It's not just water, it's this kind of water. And you work exactly the same way. Remember your body, mind, soul. The soul is like the water. It's just being. It's pure consciousness. And actually the mind, your mind, thoughts, emotions, metaphysical energy, your mind, its energy source is the soul. Your mind, it's like it's plugged in to the power outlet on the wall. So the power outlet is the soul. When you do the thing that we call die, the mind shuts down. It goes away because you cut off its energy source. That's why meditation works so well. Because what you're really doing, you're not trying to make thoughts stop. You're just not focusing on it, right? Consciousness, focus, attention. You're cutting off its fuel source. You're looking away from thoughts. You're shifting your attention away from it. But if you know what you're doing when it comes to, say, manifesting the law of attraction, for example, you can actually focus on certain types of thoughts instead and reprogram. You can reprogram them. So the consciousness is like the pure water, the soul, and then pure being, right? So the soul is like the water, consciousness, pure water. It's just being, and it's the energy source. But the mind is what you are being. So in other words, to my analogy, it's the same as if you are adding food coloring and flavoring and stuff to the pure water. Now it's a particular kind of water. So whereas the soul is just being, the mind is, well, what are you being? I'm being happy. I'm being satisfied. And again, guys, you're going to be so much happier if you learn to watch out for all the trickery. And the trickery is very, very big. There's lots of it. There's a lot going on. The demiurge is very busy right now. The elite are working with the demiurge to trick you, and it comes in all kinds of different forms. Again, the New Agers telling you to bypass, invalidating your emotions, toxic positivity, telling you money is bad, money shouldn't exist. How dare you want money? Kurt, you're charging money for your services. You should be ashamed. Things like this, building up guilt and shame around something that's your birthright and something that there's plenty of. There's plenty of abundance. Telling you things like money doesn't make you happy. It absolutely does make you happy. It absolutely does. So you got to change what you are being. You got to change what you are being. Guys, by the way, I've got an unprecedented opportunity for you right now. Maybe not unprecedented, but a great opportunity. Guys, today is the first day of my new discount sale for St. Patrick's Day. This is running through St. Patrick's Day weekend. March 19th is when this is over. Get 25% off either of my world-class coaching programs with coupon code LUCKY7. You got to pay in full. But when you pay in full, get 25% off my Manifest Your Dream Life video coaching program or my Twin Flame coaching program, the Introduction to the Journey, 25% off when you pay in full. Excuse me. Through St. Patrick's Day weekend. Sign up today or next weekend. You got a couple weeks, right? Use this coupon code LUCKY7. I do have payment plans if you cannot afford to pay in full. It's still going to be a lot easier. You know, there's people that don't have $300 or $400. And by the way, guys, I'm probably going to be drastically raising the price of my Manifest Your Dream Life coaching program. I've come to realize it's worth a lot more money than what I'm charging. The Twin Flame coaching program, I'm not going to be raising the price for the foreseeable future. Again, it's probably worth a lot more money too. That's what people tell me. But I get the numbers with the Twin Flame coaching program. And another thing, I just don't feel good doing that. I recognize that people are in a lot of pain. They're in a bad way. And I don't know, man. I don't want to charge that kind of money for my Twin Flame coaching program. But the manifesting program, guys, I mean, I'm considering raising the price upwards of, like $1,200 just to get started. It's good. It's that good, guys. It's 26 hours long, and I'm going to be adding more stuff to it. And then there's the Facebook community. There's the coaching calls. There's exclusive content in there. And I throw everything at you guys, and I'm going to be adding more to it as well. And I make a point of, guys, this is for life. You want to manifest your dream life? You got to commit to this for life, guys. This is for life. This is a way of life, manifesting your dream life. It's what you are becoming. You are changing what it is you are becoming. And it's worth that kind of money, guys. It's a big investment in yourself. Now, right now, the prices are still relatively low. So if you want to save a few bucks on it, now's the time, guys. Now's the time. I don't know when I'm going to be raising the prices. I still haven't really decided if I'm going to do that. I may even just raise them to the same price that my Twin Flame coaching program is. I don't know, but I don't know. I know I've really got something, you guys, with my manifesting coaching program. And that's what this live stream is all about. Again, the Twin Flame stuff is cool, and I'm happy to talk about it with you guys. But seriously, you're going to land in this place someday. You mark my words. The law of attraction, manifesting the life of your dreams, which you can absolutely do by shifting what you are being. Twin Flames, that's ground level. That's the foundation. It's spiritualism 101. Manifesting is where you go beyond and you learn to create. You recognize that we live in a participatory universe. And just by changing what you are being, you can manifest everything you've ever wanted, you guys. And I'm doing it every day. It is so powerful. It is so powerful. You just have to plug into that divine matrix. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go to the bathroom and grab a glass of water. If you guys want to do the same, let me type a little message in the chat here. Just in case anybody else joins. Okay. And pin that to the top. Very good. All right. I'll be right back, you guys. Taking a quick break. All right. Whoa, good? Okay. I'm back. Oh, I got a few super chats. God, you guys are awesome. Colleen, Sarah, and BB. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Colleen says, your course helped me to get through my hardest part of Dark Night of the Soul. I took your course 2 years ago. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. So she's talking about my Twin Flame video course. Nice to see you, Colleen. Sarah Stars, thank you again for the super chat. BB, thank you for your super chat. BB says, I've been manifesting, but in a harsh way. Example, I was thinking about getting a new car and ended up totaling out my old one. Everything worked out, but how can I manifest softer, right? Well, there could be two things going on with that. Again, if you do have law of attraction questions, hit that super chat button. If you want to ask a twin flame question, I'll answer it. If you give me some money, fair enough. But again, the whole object of this live stream today is to point out, guys, you're going to end up here. It's just a matter of time. You're going to get through the twin flame thing, and you're going to land in a place where you're going, I'm a creator. I can manifest just with my thoughts. I can use my mind to create my physical reality. And guys, I'm going to be here for at least another 45 minutes. So if you got law of attraction questions, hit that super chat button, guys. I teach this for a living. I've got so much knowledge, and I'm doing it. And you guys don't understand the level of knowledge, sacred knowledge that has been shown to me. I'm here to let you know. It's up there, guys. And I'm not just saying that to brag. I'm making myself available to you as a resource. So back to BB's question. Now, two things about that experience. You totaled out your car to manifest a new one. Well, yeah, maybe that's what was meant to be. That is kind of a rough way to manifest a new car. You know, for sure, your higher self, your soul in heaven, or the universe felt it necessary to bring that experience to you. But that makes it sound like you're causing it. And on some level, that is true. So that's kind of the first thing. And that's kind of a tough pill to swallow, because that makes it sound like it's your fault that this really horrible thing happened. And it's not really a matter of fault, and it's not really a matter of it's a horrible thing, but it's not really a great thing. It's just natural law. It's the law. Now, the other thing, so I said there were going to be two kind of things to that, and then I'll tell you how to manifest softer, as you put it. The other side of this coin is we live in density, we live on Earth, we are co-creators. It could be that, you know, maybe the other person was to blame, I don't know, but I mean, stuff like that's going to happen. You know, Eckhart Tolle, he gets flipped off in traffic. People cut him off in traffic. He got a piece of hate mail a couple of times. Now, tens of millions of fans, followers, right? People that like Eckhart Tolle. To get 2 or 3 pieces of hate mail over the course of your life as a public figure who has tens of millions of fans, that's pretty good, actually, right? Um, you know, but still it happened. And it's just, that's Earth. That's just kind of the way it is. There's going to be those things. Life is going to bring you these challenges. There's no getting around it. Now, is it you creating it? Well, maybe, but it's probably at a level that's so far beyond even your higher self. So again, what is you? What is that? Well, ultimately, what you are is Source, God Almighty, creator of all things. So are you creating it? Well, in a sense, yeah. But the other side of the coin is, as far as our experience down here in density, well, not really. We are participating in a world where there are many participators, many things going on, many energies that you will be subject to rather than creating. Both are true. Both are true. So I just kind of wanted to address that. And to manifest things in a softer way, as you put it, which actually is a good way of putting it, you have to start with this teaching of the way things really work. You will need to understand the laws of the universe. And how it functions, which, by the way, I talk about that a lot in my manifesting course. Obviously, the first couple of hours are like the science. And then I kind of take you from there into how to change yourself. And I'm even going to add a piece to it where I'll be more specific about the laws of the universe and what they are and how to create with them instead of against them. And you have to just be very accepting of how the universe works, the mechanism of the universe. Now, accepting doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like it, but you look at something and you go, well, it just is. I kind of touched on this earlier. There's this sacred principle called the law of care. And it's so secret that it hasn't even been written. The ancient Hermetic teachings include 7 sacred laws, and you don't just find them around. They find you. And that's exactly what happened to me and all the other people that I know that know about those. But there's an 8th. And it was so sacred, so secret that it wasn't even written down in the sacred writings, which already were a secret. And it's called the principle of care. And I've come to realize that the principle of care is intimately intertwined with a thing called free will. Just to use a simple term, another word that you could use to describe free will would be ability. So even though events and people that we don't like are happening, so there's things that people do and then the events themselves, even if we disagree, and why we would disagree isn't because we're saying that they are good or bad. We are just saying it does not serve me. This is a very different way of thinking. And this is like in the manifesting program, I teach people, like, I want you to speak this language. I want you to talk the way that I talk. I want you to speak this language. You're learning a language, basically. It's a way of thinking and being. So you don't look at an event or something a person is doing and say it's good or bad. You say it doesn't serve me. And you feel that too. You internalize it. And it's that internalizing where the principle of care comes in. You ever heard somebody go, I don't care? Yeah, you do. Right? It's not like that, though. It's not, and it's not caring. It's what you're focusing on. It's what you care about. When you look at something and there's an emotional response to it, you care. And that's not good or bad. It's internalized, right? If there's any emotional response, you care. Oh, you absolutely care. I tried to explain this to a friend of mine, and he goes, yeah. And when I tell you blah, 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 I don't care. And I was like, yeah, you do. You can tell, right? Well, anyway, people have ability. Events even have ability. Your ego mind, the pain body, has ability. The demiurge, again, what the Bible calls Satan, which is not a living thing, it's an entity. It is an ability. It is able to do what it's doing. Ability, able, it can do that. Should you rip people off? No, but you could. I mean, you can get out of bed and find ways to do that. Should there be a car accident? No, but there can be. Does it serve me? No. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it doesn't serve me. You have to start there with acceptance of what is. This is key. This is very, very critical. Other people can do things to you that maybe they ought not do. Should they? Probably not, but they can do that. They can move their body. They can move their mouth. They have ability. And the way that I am using the word ability is synonymous with free will. Free will, ability. Freedom of movement. Should, that's another matter. And I would submit to you that people that do stuff like that, people that violate your boundaries or your rights, which is the same as property, I would submit that it doesn't really serve them either. So, recognizing these things can happen, and they're going to. Life will bring you challenges instead of resisting them. A little bit of resistance at first isn't a bad thing, and I'll talk more in depth about that in a minute, because it's telling you what you don't want. It's like knowing the vampire at your door when you see him, right? But releasing care for the things that you don't want. Not focusing on what could go wrong. You do have some control over whether or not your new car manifests because of a car accident. And again, to a certain degree, you don't have control. Remember, there's these two things that we addressed. Did you cause it? Well, maybe kind of, at minimum at a very high level. Did you cause it? Well, no. Shit happens. We live in density. There's co-creating going on. It's not really your fault. Both are true. Both are true. Depends on what part of the whole, W-H-O-L-E, you are looking at, when you're looking at it, if you're looking at it. Caring. Am I looking at my experience as a separate individual, the separate self, the human? Or am I looking at it from a higher plane of existence even beyond my own higher self, right? If you go up high enough, you are actually even the all, God Almighty, right? But both are true. It depends on what part of the whole system you're looking at, talking about, when you're looking at it, if you're looking at it. That matters too. The principle of care is interwoven in quantum physics, even. Like the collapse of the wave function, which can be observed during the double slit experiment, for example. So, even that the universe works like that, everything that I just described, that something like this could happen. And it might not even be something that you've caused or created. It could just be chance, right? So to speak. What are the odds that you're going to get into a car wreck? Well, I don't know. How much do you drive? You know what I mean? You can drive as much as you want, but if you drive enough, you're probably going to get into an accident eventually. I don't know. Fender bender usually is what happens. Most people never get into any accident ever, right? But the odds aren't zero, and they do increase the more you drive. So like if you're a delivery driver or an Uber driver, you know, yeah, your odds are going to go up. It might never happen, but they're not zero. It's odds. It's statistics, you know. And all of this, these two things that I've been talking about, these two sides of the coin to your question, you even accept that fact. You look at the universe and the way that it functions, and you say, well, it has ability too. Free will, this system that we call the universe, it also has ability. The event itself, the accident, it has ability. It's an event. And its ability is there. It can do that. Should it? It doesn't serve me. I don't know about should, but it doesn't serve me. So just making peace with the fact that ability exists. All events and people have the ability of free motion, freedom to think and believe whatever they want, even if what they believe is wrong, right? Wrong in quotation marks. So, you know, when I'm up here lambasting the toxic New Agers and pointing out that it's a cult, C-U-L-T, it is a religion, it's not spiritual. You got to watch out for toxic positivity, toxic spiritualism, blame shifting, spiritual bypassing, gaslighting, shaming people for wanting abundance or whatever it is. But you still look at all of those things and you go, well, those things can exist. Those things do have ability. All things are part of the whole of God, of the all. And you just acknowledge that. You, instead of going down the path of judgment and saying it's bad, you just go, well, it just is. It doesn't serve me. And I'm going to take steps to protect myself. I'm going to educate myself so that I know the vampire when he's at my door. But remember, people confuse knowledge for wisdom. Knowledge comes from age, but wisdom comes from spirit. Together they form a winning combination. So I can identify these problems and maybe even try to avoid them. Again, there's also chance, odds, if you will. It's a numbers game. And I'm even going to accept that. I get how the universe functions. And it has ability, free will. So to kind of detach, well, definitely that's what it is. And that's a word you hear all the time in the twin flame community, right? Detaching. And I even would recommend contemplating these things when it comes to your twin flame, of course. Yes, Damien, everything is 25% off as long as you pay in full. Here's the coupon code, Lucky7, good through St. Patrick's Day weekend, March 19th. March 19th. So, to manifest more softly, you got to start there. You got to start there and accept nothing is ever really wrong. Nothing is ever not the way it's supposed to be. There's no chaos. Everything is as it is. There are no mistakes. You can choose differently, but what are you focusing on? Because if you go down the route of judging, so you're attached, you have a preference about the way things should be. That's not detaching. You care about what's happening and you're focusing on it. And the more you focus on it, the greater the odds that you're going to create it in your actual physical reality. But instead, if you detach and you recognize that the whole entire universe just is the way it is, it's the yin and yang. There's not good, there's not bad. There's things that serve you and things that don't serve you. And they just are as they are. Something might not serve me. For example, the vampire at my door, right, so to speak. But every event and person has ability, free will. I like what Annie, my moderator, just said. Yes, if it is there, if it exists, it is okay for it to be because it is. This is the key for acceptance of what is, including and allowing things to be. That's how you detach. So if you don't want to care, and I'm not talking about what people normally think of when they use that word care, I'm talking about the Hermetic principle of care, which again is so sacred they didn't even write it down in the sacred literature. It was purely word of mouth. All you're doing is releasing attachment, preference. You're looking at something and you're going, that's just what it is. And it was made this way for a reason. I don't have to agree with it. Maybe it does not serve me. And then that way you can take your focus off of the possibility of something bad happening, right? By the way, let me give you a tool perhaps to help you with that. Last I checked, this entire audiobook is on YouTube. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. You know, it's copyrighted, so it's probably not supposed to be. But not only is this book very funny and colorful, it's also deeply spiritual. And this book, it has a lot to do with what we're actually talking about right now. It's so gosh darn funny too. It's a hilarious read. I have all of my Twin Flame students read it too. But this is going to teach you acceptance. How to accept when bad things happen, so-called bad things. How to make peace with things. And when you do that, you can emotionally regulate better. Remember, we talked about this earlier. Emotionally regulating is step 2. Step 1, remember who you are. Step 2, use that to emotionally regulate, to create emotional experiences. Reprogram your subconscious mind to create different habits of thought. different beliefs. Beliefs are just unconscious habits of thought. And again, my Manifest Your Dream Life coaching program, it's all in there, guys. And it's extremely thorough. And again, if you get in a hurry, it's not going to work for you. And I tell you that from the get-go. You got to make this a way of life, guys. This is for life. If you're on a legitimate spiritual awakening path, which almost all of you are, if you're on my about as good of a job as anybody could do to try to put the correct message out there to attract the right audience. But if that's really what's happening for you, you're going to notice the connection between what you're being and what's happening in your reality. It's just a matter of time, guys. That's why this was the next logical step for New World All-Star, manifesting. And well, mental speak, thank you. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that. And you're not wrong. I mean, I don't even charge that much money, and what you get is pretty substantial, guys. I hook it up really fat, and I'm very, very clear. This is for life, guys. I want you to speak this language. Like, you might be sitting there thinking, Kurt, how does he do it? How does he come up with these answers? How does he know all this stuff? Guys, it's a way of life. I've committed myself to this. And I got to tell you something. You can sit on your couch and manifest $1 million income. Just changing what you're thinking and feeling. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? And if everybody had $1 million, like almost all of the problems of the world would vanish overnight. Money is good. Yes, money will make you happy. You got to let go of those myths. To a point. True happiness is found in here. But the thing is, when you find it, and that's the interesting thing about this talking point right now, is when you find that, eventually that's when things like abundance do show up in your outer world. It starts in here. Yeah, you got to start in here. True happiness is found within, but then it comes back to you, and it's like a positive feedback loop, because the money comes, the abundance comes, and your life situation improves, and you're like, wow, now I'm even more satisfied. I don't have to struggle to pay my bills anymore. I get to eat better food. I get to take vacations, whatever. And you have more gratitude, and then you go out and you manifest more. You have broken the cycle of the negative feedback loop. You got to pick one or the other, positive or negative. Here's another tool that I'd like to share with you guys, and I have my manifesting students do this. I keep a faith journal. It is my journal of faiths, and I even write some of the things that I want to manifest in here. And, I went to the store and I got a special book, a leather-bound book, right? And, got lots of blank pages, lined blank pages, and I write like intuitive hits. Whenever I get an intuitive hit, I write it in here, or some of the things I want to manifest, although mostly I reserve it for intuitive hits, because there's plenty, lots and lots of intuition, and which is different from telepathy. But I do keep a journal of those things, and it's important to do that, because when you receive an intuitive hit, you're literally tapping in to the quantum field, and it's like tapping into a radio frequency where again, as I described earlier, the mental universe, the quantum field, is the realm of infinite possibilities. So you're tapping into just the right frequency, just the right possibility in that quantum field. Have you ever heard that, well, of course you have, but things manifest energetically first before they manifest in the physical. Right, that's what we're talking about, is you're tapping into the field, the divine matrix, as Greg Braden refers to it. And write it down whenever you get one of those. Whenever you get one of those intuitive hits, write it down. Because if you're having a bad day, later, weeks, months, whatever, later, and you're having a bad day, you can go, wait a minute. So, because whenever the pain body is triggered, that's the demiurge, perhaps, right? Demiurge could be triggering that. It wants to do that. It wants to trick you. It's going to send the wolf in sheep's clothing, right? The gaslighters, the spiritual bypassers, the helpful gaslighters. They're only just trying to help. They're going to trick you. They're going to convince you money is bad, abundance is bad, being powerful is bad, having boundaries is bad. If you stick up for yourself and speak out against somebody talking about you behind your back, that's bad, that's not spiritual, all that. There's so many different forms of the wolf in sheep's clothing. All of these things could be going on. And all of these old patterns come up in your mind, and then even worse, in your heart, what you're feeling emotionally, right? Wait a minute. I don't have to listen to this crap. I wrote it down. I was fucking told I'm going to get this thing. Because whenever you're having one of these bad days, you start to doubt that all the great things that you've decided upon are going to happen for you, right? People start to doubt it. And if you write it down in your faith journal, you go, wait a minute, I have a record. I don't have to listen to this bullshit at all. This is just old programming. This is just all this stereotypical new age bullshit, or whatever it is. Or just generally speaking, just when you doubt yourself. It's old programming, it's old patterns. It's not intrinsically true. You have kept a record. God told you. It's done. It's going to happen. When you get that intuitive hit, it's fucking done. It's a guaranteed thing now. And in my manifesting course, I actually teach you exactly how to cultivate experiences where you get those intuitive hits. And it takes work. But the work boils down to having a daily spiritual practice where you meditate and then you do like a manifesting exercise, which, for example, for me, boils down to like dancing around in my living room and praying and cultivating emotional experiences, like putting inspiring music on. And I do it every day. And I'll even read out loud some of the things that I've decided I'm going to manifest, and cultivate emotional experiences about that. And it doesn't take very long, maybe a month or two, to start getting those intuitive hits. And I'm consistent. Also, from a greater perspective, I've made this a way of life. I have committed to learning this language that I speak. And again, in the manifesting course, I talk about this. This is really important. You make it a way of life, and I'm teaching you a language. I want you to learn this language. I want you to speak the way I speak, think the way I think. Go beyond the duality of mind. Recognize that you're greater than the conceptual mind. And be okay with being truly satisfied with your life situation. Be inspired by that. I mean, just practicing gratitude is enough. And it's a lot. It'll provide a lot for you. If you experience gratitude, life is going to give you more reasons to be grateful. So these are just a few of the things that, I teach my coaching students in my manifesting program. There's a lot. There's a lot in that coaching program. It's a way of life, guys. It's a way of life. You got to start with acceptance. That's everything. Guys, we got about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If you guys got any other questions, twin flame question, no problem. Manifesting question would be nice. Like I said, I want to spend more time talking about that, guys. The law of attraction. You're going to end up there anyway. So, super chat's turned on. If you want to pop in there and ask a question. Hello, everybody watching. Glamby and Vero. Nice to see you on here. Hit the like button, guys, by the way. Smash that like button. Smash the like button. Do it. Smash it. Guys, I'm working so hard for you. And you don't have to give me any money. You could just sit here and learn a whole bunch of cool shit just by watching these things. But if you want to be a fucking gangster ass master, sign up for my program, guys. It's not a lot of money. I've got payment plans. Again, we've got a special going right now. Coupon code Lucky7 through St. Patrick's Day weekend, March 19th, 25% off when you pay in full. And it's worth every penny and then some, guys. It really and truly is. It is something that is extraordinary. And I'm going to be talking more and more about this on this channel. The law of attraction is very, very real. And you can create anything that you want. You can create anything that you want. All you have to do is recognize what the laws of the universe are. And maybe that's something to talk about right now. When I say you can create anything that you want, you're going to have to accept the fact that there are boundaries to the universe, although vast, very vast. So for example, can you manifest a unicorn? Well, but Kurt, you said if I really believe in a unicorn, well, fine, then you're going to get, somebody's going to show up at your house with a unicorn toy. That's what you're going to get. Maybe the Amazon driver is going to deliver the wrong package to you and you open it up and you're like, a toy unicorn, right? Maybe you'll end up with that, but a real unicorn, and I don't care how hard you believe that you're going to get a real unicorn. Do unicorns exist? No. Well, if I believe they do, you said that there's an infinite number of possibilities. Yeah, but I also said that you have to work within the context of reality. Let me show you guys something. Hold on. I'm going to read to you from Ancient Hermetic Philosophy. I'm going to read to you from Ancient Hermetic Philosophy. The Divine Paradox. The half-wise, recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they may defy its laws. Such are vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reason of their folly. So let me just pause here and explain that a little bit more deeply. So the half-wise, recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe. So what they're talking about is when you realize we're living in a participatory universe, and yes, you can actually create your reality. The universe, for the most part, is mental. Like over 98% of the mass of the universe is the mind of God. It's mental. And all you got to do is plug into that. and work with it instead of against it, which is kind of what this is talking about. You can't work against what is, but if you work with it, you can manifest anything that exists. It'll show up in your reality. It'll show up. It will. And that alone right there, like realizing how powerful you are, that you really can create 3D physical reality around you with your thoughts, your habits of thought. You recognize the comparative unreality of the universe. And it's like, wow, that really is true. That is fucking amazing. But when you realize that and that only, and you're not willing to look at the reality and accept what's real or not, like for example, if you're born with certain body parts and think that you can be the other one instead, or neither, not a good idea. If you ignore reality, you're going to have a bad time. You'll get away with it for a little while, or to look at a thing like money and say money is bad and it's useless and it's intrinsically you should be ashamed to want money. And we need to get rid of it. We don't need it. I don't know, guys. Or to say I can jump off a cliff and fly because I believe it. Well, if I believe there's no gravity, yeah, but there is gravity. Well, yeah, but you said all I have to do is believe it. No, I didn't, and that's why I'm reading this to you. So the half-wise are the ones who recognize only the comparative unreality of the universe. Comparative unreality. Right, because there are things that are real that you can't ignore, guys. You cannot ignore these things. You're going to be sorry eventually. Like I said, you can get away with it for a little while. So that's what they're talking about here. The half-wise, recognizing only the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they may defy its laws, like gravity or the law of duality, right? The law of gender is what it's called in Hermetic philosophy. So even the duality of man and woman, or gravity, or the law of property, the law of rights, of free will, right? So again, money, right? Property. Such are vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reason of their folly. The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use law against laws, which are two things. And again, in my manifesting course, I explain that. Law, there's law, and then there are laws. Okay? Law is related to the principle of care. Law is you. You are the master key. Law is consciousness, if you will. It is self-realization. It's so esoteric that I'm mincing my words right now because it's hard to explain. It's beyond conceptual, okay? The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use law against laws. So law and laws are different, and they even capitalize the word law, and then laws is lowercase. Use law against laws, the higher against the lower, and by the art of alchemy, mute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. Mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, so delusions, right? Like I can jump off a cliff and fly. But in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. So you got to do both, guys. You got to do both. Bobby, thank you for your donation. Does quantum entanglement have anything to do with this journey? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I never really thought much about it before, but I draw things, diagrams of stuff that has to do with quantum physics. 100,000 million %, my friend. At the moment of the Big Bang, everything was touching. Every single thing, every particle, atom, everything. And when the Big Bang takes place and those things become separated, there's still always going to be that energetic connection. And things can come together and connect and move apart and reconnect. So there's going to be different levels of dimensional entanglement, which can become more tenuous over a period of time. But the deeper into the core of source and of reality that you go, the more or the higher that you're reaching those connections dimensionally. So the older connections are still always there, but from our perspective, pushed out over time, the newer connections are the more predominant ones. So people that you've perhaps had an experience with in this life or in a recent past life, there could be that entanglement there. And I've experienced such a thing. Now, with your twin flame, by the way, it's a lot different. It's kind of more that primary connection that took place at the moment of the Big Bang. It's just a newer and a newer fractal reproduction of that event, because your twin flame is your soul in another body. So you're the exact same soul vibration. So there's always going to be that entanglement at the physical or mental plane. And thus is the duality of that entanglement. Always. And in quantum entanglement, the same is true. If one particle has a spin up, the other one has a down spin. Up spin, down spin. And if you switch one, the other one switches at the exact same time. With your twin flame, there's no switch, at least not in this lifetime. Maybe that'll be proven wrong someday, but we've never observed it, ever. It's never, ever been observed. Although what does happen is when you transcend the duality of this entanglement, it creates like an energy vacuum. And then that's when your twin flame wants to be around you all the time, because there's nothing to push them away anymore. That polarization appears to be permanent. And again, to go beyond the polarization is to go beyond mind. Some people would prefer to, say, debate me on whether the polarities could shift or what have you. We've never observed it, so I just don't think so. There's no proof. But what does happen is when you leave behind that whole conversation and you just stop caring about what the other person is doing, they come back. They always come back around. Quantum entanglement, as it is observed in the laboratory, is artificially created. So for it to have that ability to switch doesn't surprise me. And just in case anybody is curious, oh, well, do we switch in the next life? There's no we. That's the whole problem with having this discussion or debate about, oh, do the polarity switch? There's no we. Oh, we're going to switch maybe in the next life then. What happened? What do we do in the next life? There's no we. Oh, God. What's up, spammer? What's up, troll? You're in the wrong place, sweetheart. Go spam somebody else. Anyway, yeah, there's no we. And the best thing for you to do, guys, is to just go beyond the conceptual with your twin flame. Now, when it comes to everything else in life, and I kind of got the impression that maybe Bobby was asking not about twin flames. With everything else in life, you can switch polarities all day long. You can entangle yourself with other people. And that's usually what you're going to get when you get into a relationship with somebody, you know. But there's that attachment that you have. And it's just an energy system. That's all it is. Entanglement is nothing new under the sun to a spiritual person. So I think, Bobby, your point is well taken, because, again, these principles, all of these strange things that we see taking place in the quantum world, spiritual teachers look at those things and they go, wait a minute, this is what I do energetically all day long. And I teach this to people even. And there's been a million books written about it. And scientists think that they're so gosh darn clever. Coming up with this stuff. And all the spiritual masters are sitting around going, well, we already been talking about this for thousands of years. So yeah, there's all these parallels. Kim, thank you for your super chat. Kim asks, hello, Kurt, why am I no longer triggered even if he says annoying things in text messages? Because you're probably going beyond the duality of mind. You're not really energetically relating to him as a him. You're going beyond other. You're leaving behind separation consciousness. You're entering unity consciousness, which is where the word union came from. Again, go watch my video called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness, and Detaching. And the mind, it wants a mental construct answer. It wants me to give you some kind of a mechanical answer to that question. And there isn't one. You're leaving behind that which needs a mechanical answer as your primary form of self-identification. You are no longer as identified as a personality ego. You are remembering who you are, who you already were. You are consciousness. And that's it. The soul is consciousness. You and your twin flame are simultaneous incarnations of the same soul. So there you go. It's a very interesting thing. You're going beyond concept. Well, guys, I think we're at time. I'm going to call it. Thanks for joining us today. I'll be back next Wednesday for another long-form super chat. Thank you for watching today. Really good questions today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And again, guys, you know, I'm not here to bash anybody. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. So, you know, you're just going to have to pardon me if I get a little raw and unfiltered sometimes when I rip the damn Band-Aid off. But guys, seriously, there's so much more here going on than twin flames. You're going to land in a place where you make the connection between what you are being and how things show up out there. You got to realize how powerful you are, guys. You're a creator. And you've got all the power in the world to create anything that you want, anything at all, any life that you want. And you don't have to believe that you don't deserve it. And, you know, again, I want to be a beacon of light and truth. I'm going to be here to point out the devil when I see it, the demiurge, as it's been called. It's always there trying to trick you, always there trying to limit you, tell you that you should be ashamed of having greatness and beauty and wonder and abundance and joy and meaningful relationships and a big house and whatever. Fulfilling work, meaningful work. If everybody lived that way, what an amazing world we would live in. What an amazing place. So we got to talk about all the things, guys. We got to talk about all the things, and I'm never going to stop, guys. I'm never going to stop. Mwah! Thank you so much, everybody. By the way, Bella, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing on this other platform. We're going to be doing group manifestations. So join me over here, guys. That's exactly where I'm going with this project over here. So join me over here. Same name, New World All-Star. All-Star is one word. ALLSTAR. Love you guys. I'll see you next week. How do I exit? How do I end the chat? Is it this? All right. See you guys.